Okay, so this is what I have shown you before. If you already did this thing, please hold on. You can, if you already submit, that will be fine. But you can resubmit together with the rest of the file in order to earn 10%. Okay, 5% will be coming from this file. If you are able to do very similar to the one that I did here, then you will earn 5%. Okay, you will earn 5%. If you have not done the file yet, you can start what we call your Microsoft project will start on 1st January. Okay, 1st January next year. Okay, 1st January, make sure your project start 1st January next year. And then there is a 7 days working. There is no holidays in between or even on Sunday. And then every day, 10 hours of working time, starting from 8 until 7 p.m. So 12 to 1 is basically lunch time. So actually, if you put 8 to 7 p.m., there will be 11 hours, but then we need to deduct with the lunch hour. Okay. And then every month you are working for 30 days. Okay. You should be able to get the same scheduling as mine. You should be able to get 77 days, and then you should be able to get cost 119, 620. If you get something different from mine, then there is something wrong. Maybe maybe in your setting or something else. Okay. So this is what we have been working before. Okay. Yes. All right. So if you already complete this one, you can change to 1st January 2020. How to change those things? Just click on project. Okay, let me see. Let me try again. Okay, can you see my screen here? Microsoft Project screen.
No, doctor, I don't see.
Okay.
Yes, now I'm seeing.
All right, all right. Let me open it again. Can you see now? Microsoft Project?
Yes, sir.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, good. All right then. Okay. So if you follow my step by step, you can go to my videos, okay? Perhaps you should be able to get the same, exactly the same schedule as mine. So if you manage to do this thing, you get 77 days. You start the project 1st January 2021 next year. You should finish the project on the 18th of March. There will be 77 days. How to change? If you already done this thing, you can go to project menu, project information. Just change the date to next year. So everything will follow. Okay, everything will follow because we do not set any constraint. Okay, and then you will get the same what we call answer as mine. Okay, so if you submit this file is worth for 5%. Okay, but it is not done yet. Okay, if we do this file only, this is what we call, we are developing schedule. Okay, we are developing schedule or work program so that whatever the project that we want to start will be based on this one. That's his example. But what if, okay, what if the project then start on the 1st day of January, then we'll continue going on and on and on. How are we going to track our project? So this is what we are going to continue, okay? To complete the whole process of scheduling, tracking, and then except controlling. Controlling we do not do because it involves other things, okay? We just want to do scheduling and tracking only for this work example. Okay, I already have mine. I already changed the previous example. I couldn't remember the date, but now I already changed to 1st January to 2021. Okay, I do not change anything. It's exactly the same. But then last time, before we go on, okay, last time the issue with the carpenter, okay, the issue with the carpenter is basically here. I put only 14 days. When I put 14 days, the red person will be indicated in the information column here. If you move your cursor here, it indicates this resource is over allocated. Basically, it is insufficient. We set maximum 14%, but then what would be in our Gantt chart? Okay, in our Gantt chart, you see, in formwork zone A and formwork zone B indicate red person. Simply due to the fact that there will be insufficient number of workers. So how do we zoom into those issues? Okay, now go back to this what we call resource sheet. What you can do is basically you can click. I just want to show you, okay, at the end of the day, we do have a few choices to make, okay. The one that I show you, basically we just add more resources. But since we just basically learn about resource leveling, why don't we just simply show in this Microsoft project? Okay, what you can do is basically you click on Carpenter and then you go to resource. Here, there is a menu resource. At the bottom here, you just have to click resource graph here. This one, resource graph. And you need to drag your cursor here where to find those. Now the resource is being shown. The graph, resource graph is being shown. And the way Microsoft is showing us is very straightforward. Based on whatever date, okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day, and then it simply plot the graph according to the usage based on formwork zone A and then formwork zone B. Okay, you notice that zone A and zone B are two overlapping activities. Okay, two overlapping activities. They use the same resources, carpenter. Zone A use 8 carpenters, and then zone B also use 8 carpenters. But because some in 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are overlapping work. So if you add 8 plus 8, that will be 16 resources, whereas the limit is only 14. Now the red colored graph indicate over allocated. Okay, meaning to say we set only 14, but then we require 16. That is how basically this Microsoft project or computer act as tool. Tool meaning to say they give us indicators. It is up to us to act. Okay, the computer do not do anything. Computer just give us some information or indicator. We are as a scheduler, we need to understand, oh, okay, this right person mean, okay, we need to do something, okay? Because otherwise, we are going to have a problem. When the real situation come on that particular day, for sure, we are going to deal with this issue. And by that time, it's going to be late already. So we do not want to have this situation. So that's why computer only acts as tool, okay, to help us. And then what shall we do? That is the issue. The simplest way out is basically to add more resources. But adding more resources could mean extra costs. That will be another issue. Well, if we do not want to do that, can we simply adjust instead of overlapping those activity, can we do something? Now, let's say we do not want to add resources. We just want to adjust the these two activity because we know the overlapping is the issue. Why don't we just simply adjust? Okay, now let's go back to my resource sheet. You can click on whatever resources that show issues. Then you try to views. Click on resource. Click on views. Try to views what could be the, where could be the issues. Click other views and more views. If you click that, then we go to resource allocation. Then click apply. So you see, the computer will zoom into these two activities. For both zone A and for zone B, and you see this line is given. That's why day on the 11, maybe 11 February, 12, there are two, start from where is it? 10 February, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. They are overlapping. These activities are overlapping. If you add 8 plus 8, there will be 16. So that will be the issue, okay. If you know, if you click to the right place, you already the computer will give you to this view. What you can do, you notice this one, you can basically adjust. Let me put 1. What would happen? If I click 1, what would happen to this? You take a look at this view. Okay. 1, where is it here? Let me click. Okay. And how about 5? Okay, it's a little bit slow. Okay, never mind. Let's go back to our resource sheet and see how it adjusts. No, okay, how it adjusts accordingly. Okay, now let's go to resource sheet. You see, it adjusted but a little bit slow because of the zoom. I'm using zoom. You notice Carpenter now has been resolved because I adjust the, I delay a little bit on second activity. But the issue with regard to the completion of time, you notice the completion of time now has been extended. If you read this, previously it was on 18, now the project has been adjusted by 5 more days. Is it acceptable? You need to ask the question. Is it acceptable? Is it within the limit that you can take? If you satisfy with that one, then basically your resource is okay. Nothing, you don't have to do anything. But then the issue is that you will extend a little bit on the project completion. That is the situation. But let's say you do not want to go back to that thing. Okay. Okay. Let's say you do not want to encroach into the time frame. What you can do is basically go back to the original. This is the situation. Okay. This is the situation. And then another situation is that if you do not know how to adjust, you can go to resource, level the resource leveling. You can click on resource leveling. And if there are so many red, then many things that you can choose. But now the red person is only on Carpenter, then you can click level now. Okay, you can click level now. Where is that thing? Okay, let me get this thing. All right, you see? Now, you see? The formwork at zone B has been pushed forward, similar to what we did before, but it was not shown here because I'm using Zoom. If you do that thing in your computer, you will see that thing direct automatically because there is no delay. Okay, there is no delay in showing this into the computer. Okay, by right you should see the same thing. Now you see both activity are not overlapping anymore, And now let's go back to our resource sheet. You see, there is no red person anymore. That is how you resolve a resource conflict, by clicking at what we call this button, level resources. But again, if we go back to Gantt chart, the project now has been extended by another five more days, similar to what we did manually. But now we are letting the computer using the leveling function. So the computer do have leveling function, okay? So I'm showing you how to use that leveling function. Okay, now let's go back to our issue. Okay, Carpenter, let's see. I do not accept, or I do not want the project to encroach into 5 more days. What I did is that I can clear leveling. So I do not want that thing to happen. Good. So now it go back to the same situation, but instead of pushing the project to the extra 5 more days, my last solution is that I just increase this number of workers. Okay, now it is settled. Okay, so what I am telling you or showing you now is basically the computer, Microsoft Project, or even Primavera do have a resource leveling function, okay, that can help you to set the resources to whatever amount or number that you want, but then you need to see whether that thing is acceptable or not, okay? All right, so we finish on showing you the resource leveling in Microsoft Project. Okay, now let me go back to the original. I do not do anything. There's nothing changed here, except that I just show you how to use this button, resource leveling button. Okay, now, now let's go into tracking. Okay, the second part of our demonstration here, tracking. Yeah? Okay, let me close this what we call file. Close this file. No, save changes. Okay. Is screen stop. Okay. Okay. Now let's. I want you. After this, what we can do is that. No. Wait a second. Okay. Let me open this one. Is it this one? Okay. Okay. All right. So this might not be good. Can you see my screen? My overall screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
If I click here, I add a new folder. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Okay, now, in order for you to earn another 5% of the marks, what I want you to do, remember the first file, I put it under my name, or you can name you can name under your name also. Okay, the first file that we developed, the one that I showed you before. Okay, now we want to do some kind of folder management. Okay, folder management, because when you do the tracking, then you will realize that there are a lot of files that you update. At the end of the day, you will lose track. So it is better to do folder management. So what you can do, you create a few folders. First folder, you name it original. Then second folder, you just simply name it plan, PLAN. Okay. Then create another one, the third folder, you call it actual. Now you will realize that there is a plan versus actual, because that is tracking is all about, plan versus actual. Okay, next would be the file that you already did on the first place. You just simply copy and put into this plan folder, paste. Okay, but then you need to change this file into, let's say, underscore P. P indicate plan, so that you know when you open up a file, you know that this file belongs to which folder. Okay, so I just indicate underscore P. P stands for plan. Okay, now in the third folder, actual, you just simply copy the same file, because I already copied before. I just simply paste, but then you put underscore A. A indicate actual. All right, then. So now you already have three folder: original, plan versus actual. Why original file? Original is the one that when you do anything on the first place, or even when you want to revise, you always have backup that you do not touch. Otherwise, then you make changes, you forgot that you make changes and you want to go back to original, then it is too late already. You cannot remember which one that you make changes, because every time you make changes, then the original will be gone. That is the issue. Okay, now, now we want to focus on folder number 2. Folder number 2. You click on folder number 2. Okay. Click on that file. Okay, you notice there is the same file. Can you see the Microsoft project screen?
Yes.
Oh, you can see. Okay, that's good. Okay, so you open that file in folder number 2. Okay, now I want to, the issue is that, let's say, normally at the beginning of the project, you are going to submit the S-curve. Either it could be financial or physical to the client. You already prepared the Microsoft project file with all the costs included. How do you generate those S-curve financially and physically based on your Microsoft project? That would be the issue. Okay, what you can do for the S-curve for financial is easy, because you can do that from this Microsoft project. But for physical progress, there is no function or button menu for that. That is the issue. Okay, now we start with this one. You can go to the report, visual report. See, cash flow report. Cash flow report. Let's assume our project basically run for 77 days. We are going to plot our graph based on weekly basis. You can plot based on daily, whatever, just up to you. Now let's assume weekly. So you can change this thing, days, week, etc. Now I want to maintain weekly basis, and then you click view. Okay. Can you see this Excel diagram from your computer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, when you open up, when the Microsoft will link either to Excel or Visio. Now it is Excel. Okay. If, for instance, you already install Microsoft project, and then when you do the cash flow visual report, it does not show or link, there is nothing wrong with the Microsoft project, except that normally when you install Microsoft project, it will basically also copy the Excel into the Microsoft project, whatever the whole file there, then only you can see. Okay. All right, then you only see this diagram. So it is not even the S-curve. Don't worry. You must click at this task usage. Okay, you click at this task usage, and then the issue is that Microsoft is being designed in US. They use a so-called quarter system, and quarter system meaning to say first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and whatnot. That is the issue. Okay, that is the issue. So, okay, now, okay, let's say when you have to expand those, click on those things, then only you will see the whole chart there. Now, because we start our project on 1st January, so 1st January basically start on week number 1, and then you notice that the graph will be drawn. This is like S-curve. It might not look nice because it depends on the data that we input. If you input more activities, more data, then basically the S-curve would looks nice, okay? But this is what S-curve is all about, okay? That we use in the construction industry, the cumulative financial values. Every week, how much we should spend, okay? And in terms of task usage, okay, why there is a Q4 is there because I changed the date for that. I need to basically adjust later on, never mind. But the most important thing, you notice that the first week, how much money that we basically need to spend, and then the second week is how much and whatnot. Everything is there already. This is what we call the value generated from the computer. Okay, so you can save this one as a reference. Okay, let me. You can save this one as a reference. Okay, never mind. Okay, I just want to close this thing, the S-curve. Okay, because I can save later. Never mind. Don't have to save. Okay, but now this is not the S-curve that we are going to generate. Okay, I'm going to show you how to generate the S-curve based on the value from this Microsoft project. And you notice that we not only we need financial S-curve, but we also need what we call physical S-curve. Okay, first thing first. WBS, I don't need the WBS anymore. I can just hide the column. Okay, if you want to show all the column, you can just simply insert the column. Okay, first thing first, I insert column, percent complete. Okay, that will be one column. Second, I insert another column, actual cost. Okay, 2 extra column. All right, so now I want to generate, okay, if I update a project, or for instance, every 2 weeks, what would happen to my work, okay, in terms of financially and physically? How much progress should I achieve? This is what we call target. Target, we are doing the target as in the folder number 2, the plan, okay, the plan folder. Plan folder or the target value is the same, okay? So now, let me generate the project every 2 weeks. There is a step-by-step that you need to follow. Okay, first step, you click on project, click on project information, double click. Okay, you will see this what we call windows, and you need to change this current date. So our project basically start on the 1st January, remember? I want to update the project every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Assume that this is the progress that I will either use for myself to update or to show to the client. But normally, everywhere in the world, we update the project every monthly to the client. Okay, we can update daily for our own purposes, but for reporting or claim purposes, Normally it could be monthly, but I do not want to do monthly because our project is only 2.5 months. If I do that, there is very limited data. I just want to show what we call bi-weekly, okay, every 2 weeks. Okay, so remember, we start project on the first day of January, and then 2 weeks is basically exactly 14 days. So I set on 14 days. Okay, then the status date, I will also generate based on 14 of, see, 14 of January. I click, okay. That will be first step, nothing happened, but you notice there is line here. On the 14th January, there is a dotted line here. This indicate we want to know at the end of 14 days, what would be our target progress? Okay, what would be our target progress? Okay, there is nothing happened yet. There is one more click that you need to do. Okay, the first one, I repeat again. You click on these two date. You set 14 because 2 weeks after the first day of the project. And then this one is also 2 days after the project. Okay, that's what I did. Then second step is you click update project here. And you see the date is already there because we already changed in the previous step. What you need to do is just click OK. You notice what happened? You notice what happened? Now, the overall project shown is 15% complete. This is what we call physical progress. The percent complete column is what we call physical progress. It is meant for the S-curve for physical. You can use that percentage. And then the actual cost, 19,040, is meant for what we call financial progress. You can convert that thing into percentage by dividing into the total project cost. I think the total project cost is 119,620. Then you will get the percentage. Okay, so that would be, if I already insert this column, you can see this value straightforward. But if you do not want to insert that column, you can go to project information. You click on statistic. You notice that 15% is here. And then 19,000 is being shown in actual. So it's the same value being shown in these two columns. So you, if the computer asks you to save, you do not save yet, because I will show you there is another way we are going to record this thing. By saving, okay, I will click File, Save As. In the plan, okay, I will indicate the date, 14 January 2021. And then I click Save. Why I do that, later on you will appreciate, okay? We are going to compare later on, okay? That will be the values. And you know what? I do have, let me click on this thing. Show you the PDF. Is it this one? Okay, let me. Okay, let me close this thing. Okay, can you see the graph here from my computer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, you know what? If you already have the values, this is just for 14, the first 2 weeks here. But the date is not going to be the same, never mind, okay? The date is not going to be the same because this was from my previous data file, okay? But this, Where is that? Okay, let me draw this thing. Okay. All right, then see, you notice 14 of whatever, it is 2 weeks. And you notice that this is the values that we generate, 19,040. Okay, so on the first, this is what we generate. What we are doing now is to generate this value so that we can plot a S-curve based on what we call plan. This is the actual. We have not gone into this actual yet. The plan is basically in folder number, folder number 2. We are working on folder number 2 now. I'm just generating the first value here. Okay, so we start from 0. Okay, 0 is here. For the first 2 weeks, we already have the data, the plan value for financial. We are doing the financial. But how about the what we call the physical? The physical is equivalent to 15%. But we do not plot on this graph. There are 2 graphs which I do not plot. Physical graph you should plot differently using the percentage. Okay. So now let me go back to Microsoft Project Works here. Okay. So that will be the first data that you can plot, the first 2 weeks. But what happened the next 2 weeks after 14th of January, meaning to say 28th of January? How are we going to generate the data? Okay, that's why I saved this file. I saved this file name as 14th of January because I did not want this value to basically gone. Then later on you will appreciate, because once you want to trace back the value, then you already have the file that you can go back. Okay, now next step. So you save this file on 14th of January. Then you repeat the same work. Click on project information here. Change the current date into 28 days, 28 January. Then status date, you change to 28 January as well to synchronize. Then you click OK. That will be the first step. The second step is to update project. You see, and in fact, you can already see. Let me make it this one. Let's focus on these 2 columns. And you notice the line here, 28 January. The computer is already shown the line on 28 January, except that the value is not coming out yet because we do not update the project. Click update project. And then the 28 January is there. Then you click OK. Now you see, you already have 2 values being updated. So the physical completion of the project should be 33%. And then the actual cost that you should have spent on 28 January is 37,477. Okay. So if you get this value, then you use this value to plot the second point on your graph. But before we do that, just remember to save as, because later on when you save all the file, you will have a save in this plan. Okay, change this one is to 28 January, then click save. Okay, then you let me click on the project financial S-curve again. Okay, so this is the one that I showed you before. Now let's, okay, we already finished on this 14 of the first value, 14, see, 19,040, and then 28, this is the point, 37. This is for financial. So now we already have the second, what we call values. And then you will do the rest of the value. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the last one, 6. 6 more 5, for instance. Okay, now let's close this thing. Okay. Okay, now let's go back. Okay, I already saved to 28 January. Okay. What I'm doing is basically just to generate the data. I do not change anything on the project scheduling. Okay, I just generate the data. Okay, next, I click on project information. Change this one to next 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks would be that would be on which date? 28. Okay. Let me check on this one. What would be the 28? Is it 11? Yeah, 11. Okay, it should be around that values. Okay, 11. Is it correct? January, then February. Okay, 28. This one. Okay, 11 of February. Then 11 of February. Click OK. Nothing happened yet. Then click on Update Project. 11 of February. Click OK. All right, now the progress should be 55% physically, and then the money that we should spend is around 5190. Okay, don't forget to save as, because later on you need to submit to me similar file, all the file in folder number 1, folder number 2, and then folder number 3. Then only I know whether you are getting the right answer or not. If you follow my step by step, for sure you will get one. Okay, 11 February and save. Okay, now next step. Okay, let me see. Next step will be on 25th. Okay, 25th. Okay, click on project information again. 25th of February here, 2 weeks. And then this one is 25th. Click OK. Update project. See, 79%. We're almost complete. Don't worry, don't forget to save as 25th February 2026. Save. Okay, now you already have that values. So the next one, okay, almost at the end, click project information. Then that would be on March 11. Okay, March 11. This one is March 11. Click OK. Update project. Should be 95%. And save as 5. Save as 11 March. And then click save. You see? And should you do another step, the final date of the project, which is on 18, you can, but you don't have to. But we can try. Okay, let's finish up our work. March 18, that will be the end of the project. And then March 18, and then click OK. Then update project, click OK. For sure, we should get 100% because actually we are not doing anything. We're just generating data, because the issue is that different clients want data on different date. Let's say you want to generate data weekly, or bi-weekly, or monthly. How are you going to do that? Because when you plot from Microsoft project, the visual report, it does not show you in that particular way that you want, because it is a standardized template anyway. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Actually, we generate data. You can save as, which is not necessary, but if you want, that should be okay. The last date of the project is 18. Okay, everything show according to what we are supposed to finish, 100%, and this is the project value. Okay, now we are done with what we call generating data. What we have been doing so far, actually, we are plotting this graph. Now, you know what? I do have another, the complete one. Okay, okay, you see? Financial cash flow and physical progress. What I have been doing before is basically just plotting this value and the date every 2 weeks, according to my project start date. Okay, it should be the same, except that the date is different because I use different different project anyway. But if you start your project on the 1st January, so the date, the starting date is the same, except that the month will be a little bit different, because remember, next year January would be 28 days, because last year we do have 29 days. So a matter of 1 or 2 days different. Okay, this is the value that I was generating based on folder number 2. Okay, so now the next step, if you look at this financial flow and progress flow, you notice there is a column actual values for 14 January, 14 next 2 weeks from the start date of the project. Okay, I do have financial and physical progress. So this is what I am going to demonstrate to you now. Okay, that will be in folder number 3. Very quickly. I do not cover the whole example. I just give you one example for tracking only. Okay. Next, go back to our side. Okay. Go. Okay, I have finished on this file. Let me close. Okay, let me close this. Okay, no. Okay. Now, I want to demonstrate to you this what we call the actual tracking. Okay, you go to folder number 3. You click on those folder. You notice there is the same file that we have been using before in the original and plan, but I just rename it to A. So double click on that thing or open that thing. Okay, it's the same original file, but you remember one thing. If you want to do tracking, as in folder number 3, all the files should be set baseline first. Okay, should be set baseline first. Can you see the Microsoft project file I'm opening now? Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I want to show you how to set the baseline. Okay, how to set the baseline. All right. Sometime when you receive a file from your friend or whatever, maybe you do not know whether this file is being set baseline or not. Okay, now I show you way to know. Okay, there are maybe 2 ways, easy way. First thing first, you click on project information, double click, click on statistic here. Down here, there is a statistic. You click on statistic and you see current, baseline, actual, remaining. Baseline 0, 0, 0. So this indicates that this file is not being saved as baseline first. When you do tracking, you must set the file as a baseline. Baseline is like you take a selfie of this file or all the data, because if you want to make comparison between plan versus actual, the plan values or whatever data must be logged first. Then only computer can make comparison. It's just like taking a selfie of yourself, now and after. If you do not have the now picture, then how are you going to compare with the future pictures? You simply cannot. So similar concept, what we are doing with the Microsoft project, if you want to make comparison with the actual, the plan, whatever values or data must be basically logged or captured by the computer. How to capture that is by setting your file into baseline. Okay, now this is one way to look at whether your file is being saved as baseline or not. And then second, okay, you click on task, Gantt chart here. You click on this Gantt chart, there are lists of items here. You click on tracking gun. Click on tracking gun. Okay, now your tracking gun looks like this with the percentage. This is what we call tracking gun. You are on the tracking gun views. The original views is only Gantt chart, but now it's tracking gun. Okay, you notice that there is a one bar for each activities. Okay, one bar for each activity, meaning to say we have not set this thing into the baseline yet. If we already set into baseline, you will notice there are two bar for each of the activities. Now we are ready to set the baseline. But before we go into that thing, okay, let me delete the WBS, hide WBS column, which is not necessary for now. I insert the same column, percent complete, and actual duration as we did in folder number 2, actual cost. This is exactly the same column that we did in folder number 2. We are going to have those things because we are comparing, actually. Later on, we are comparing this value, the actual in folder number 3 and folder number 2. Okay, now we are going to set the baseline. Where do we do that? Click on project, and you notice that set baseline is one of the menu here. Click set baseline. You can set baseline or clear baseline. Clear is like undo, or you want to go back. You basically you realize that you are not ready to set baseline yet, so you can basically undo and start all over again. What I need to do is basically set baseline, and you notice that there are so many baseline that you can set. So if it is for the first time, you set as a baseline without any numbering there. Why there are so many baseline is for you to submit a revised version of the plan. Remember, along the way, your plan might not be working as what you want. You can submit a revised plan. When you resubmit, then you will save to, as a baseline, not baseline, you might save into baseline number 1, number 2, number 3, and etc. Okay, because baseline for the first one is for the starting of the project only. Okay, then you click OK. When I click OK, what would happen to this bar? You see, there are two bars. If you click on the arrow here, the bottom one indicate baseline bar, and the top one indicate actual. Okay, later on, the baseline will not be moving. It will be locked. The one which is moving is on the top bar. And after we update, then you will see there is changes to our bar chart later on. Now, okay, we already saved our baseline. How to check again? Go back to project information. Look at the statistic. You see, the baseline will copy whatever the value that we already planned, and then later on we are going to make comparison. The computer will make comparison. That is how do you know whether your work program has been set into baseline or not. Okay, now I just want to give you only one example. Okay, one example is sufficient because the rest are repetitious. Okay, let's imagine we are going to update our project in the next 2 weeks. Okay, in the next 2 weeks. what would happen to our activity? Let's say project information. In the next 2 weeks, January 14, and then January 14, click OK. So meaning to say, this line, we want to know what would happen to our project the next 2 weeks. And you notice that by looking at the planning, it looks like there are 3 activities which supposed to be started, like survey, and supposed to be completed. And then earthwork at zone A supposed to be started but not yet finished. And then survey on setting out B supposed to be started but not yet finished by right. But in order to know whether that thing is right or not, you must go to the site, look at the real progress. So what we are doing now is basically the real progress. Let's assume that on the 1st January, you started the project, and then you see the project is progressing, but then you input the data in order to know in the next 2 weeks or 14 January, what would be your real progress. Okay, now how to update the project. Okay, in order to do the tracking, the update, remember I set the date here, which already click OK. Okay, but then I do not update the project because the issue is that I need to update the task, not the project, because the project is not yet finished yet. The one which is progressing is only selected tasks. What I need to do is I select the task, each of the tasks which basically has progress, and then I update the task one by one. So in my situation, I want to show the affected activity are only 3 affected activities: survey and setting out zone A, earthwork at zone A, and then surveying and setting out at zone B. Only those 3 activities has been running so far. The rest I do not need to touch anything. So you see, tracking or updating the project is not that difficult. You only focus on the which activity has been ongoing. The rest, you do not touch anything. The computer will basically link the activity accordingly. Okay, now, how to do this? Okay, later on, you will do this thing by yourself and see whether you are getting the same data or not. And when you submit folder number 1, 2, and 3 to me, that will be worth that will be worth 10% of your marks. Okay, now click on survey and setting out. Then go to tasks because the menu is here. Mark on track, you do not click, just down arrow there, you update the task. You click update the task. Okay, this is the task that you need to update. Let's assume activity survey and setting out at zone A already completed. When it is completed, you must already know the date, the start date and end date for sure. So you only update the date. Okay, how do you update the date? Okay, let's say the project start on the 1st January, which is the same date. So we click on the same date. Let's assume if it is not the same, then you click on the real date. Okay, so our assumption is that the project start on the same date. Okay, but how about the finish date? The project is supposed to finish on the 9th of January, but let's assume it finished 2 days late on 11. Then I click OK. Click OK. You notice what happened to our project. Now our project already being updated automatically. I do not want to save yet. Say no, because we have not finished updating. You notice that the tick button here, what we call symbol here, indicate that this activity is 100% completed, but it basically running late by 2 days. What would happen to the project over the duration? It show extra 2 days. Okay, that will be the first what we call update. Then Second, click on activity earthwork at zone A. Repeat the same process, update task. And you notice that this activity already started, but it's on progress. So when on progress activity, you already know the start date. Okay, you just need to update the start date. Let's assume it start on the 12th January as well. 12th January is here. But then, because it is ongoing, you do not know the end date yet, but you know that how much activity has been progressing based on the site, what we call observation. Let's say you notice that it is almost, the estimate is about 20%. So you put 20%, then you click OK. Okay, you click OK. So you notice that now the progress has been updated. Okay, 20% only, but we have not finished yet updating our project because we need to update the last activity, survey and setting out zone B. Okay, let's click on update project task. So similarly, this activity also already started. We already know the date. Let's assume 12th January, but the progress is only 10%. 10%. So this is the ongoing activity. You only update on the starting date and progress. How many percent based on your assumption, but not the finish date. Do not enter the finish date yet because you do not know unless the activity has been completed. Then only you input the start date and end date. Don't input on the percentage. Then you click OK. Okay, now this is the actual progress, 11%, 12,200 at the end of 14 days of work. Now you can save as in folder number 3. Okay, put a date, 14 January 2021, and click save. See, and this is for 14 January only. How about on 28 January? You do the same process, but I do not have. I do not want to show. We can put some assumption, but the process is going to be the same again and again. Okay, so that's it. That is the way you track your project. And you know what? In folder number 3, since you already update your project based on actual progress, you can look at the earned values. We already learned about earned values. So you see, you can go to report, visual report. You see earned value is there already. Maybe we can put days because we only progress for 14 days. So days would be better. Click view. Okay, if you click views, then okay, the earned value, you need to expand the data here. Expand here, and then chart. See, this is the earned value chart. Okay, the red one being the red one is the planned value PV. The earned value EV is the blue one. It's almost similar with the actual cost because we do not input the cost which is extra than what we are supposed to do, but now we are running late. Okay, we are running late. So this is what we call the earned value graph. Okay, you can save that if you want. Another one, you know what? You can click on this table here. You can click more table, and you can click on earned value cost indicator. Earned value, there are so many. You can click cost indicator, schedule indicator. You can click earned value. You see, you notice everything that we learned in our class before is given here. is being calculated by the computer. And you can add what we call C, and add CPI. Okay, then you can add what? SPI. You can add SPI. Where is that SPI? Okay. You see, based on the schedule, we are running late. So that's why you get number 0.64. But in terms of cost, it's okay. Okay, there is nothing, because we do not input any extra cost. We just based on whatever the schedule cost. You see, all the earned value that you learn to calculate manually, now in the computer, Microsoft project, it will basically calculate. Everything is here already. All right, now let me go back to entry. Okay, the last one that I want to show you. Okay, let me make it bigger, smaller here. The last one that I want to show you. So we already finished the three folder number 1, 2, and 3. So that basically complete the scheduling and tracking part. But I just want to show you one function that Microsoft Project now do have here. You click on compare project here. You can click compare project under report, and you can browse what to compare. The current file is basically actual progress 14 January. You want to compare with folder number 2, also the same 14 January, but that will be the target, the plan. You want to compare between plan versus actual. Then you click OK, now open. Then click OK. You will see what happened. Okay. Now the computer is going haywire as if. No, actually it is not. Now, you see, now the computer is giving you the comparison between two files side by side. One is basically A. A stands for actual. P stands for plan. Side by side, so that you can trace. Let's say you want to examine what could be the issue. Okay, you can trace side by side. These features is similar to what Primavera software basically have for a long time ago. Now a little bit Microsoft Project is giving is another features that you can compare. All right. So that is the example of Microsoft Project. Okay. I have given you how to basically create a schedule based on whatever data that we must input, the task name, duration, link, resources, and then we go through resource conflict in terms of leveling, and then we generate the values, and at the end of the day, for sure, we can generate whatever what we call, for instance, this one, okay? Either this could be financial S-curve, and you look at the variance is negative, meaning to say our project is lag behind by 2 days. And then we can also plot the financial, the physical S-curve, okay? And plot another graph, okay? All right, that will be our demonstration on Microsoft Project. So what you need to do, you need to email me 3 folders. 1 is original, 2 the plan, and then the 3 is the actual, similar to mine. Okay, for the original is basically original file, and then for plan you will have a few data generated, basically file according to the date. And then for the plan, for the actual, we only generate one data based on the first 2 weeks only. The rest we don't need, because it is a similar work repeated over and over again. Okay. All right, then that is our class for today. Sorry to extend a little bit. And you know what? In order to complete the assessment, I do have one more quiz. I call it quiz number 2. with regard to today's topic, I will share the Google form. You are supposed to complete within 1.5 hours, but we already extended the class. Maybe I give you until 5 o'clock today to submit your response. It is very easy, which is objective question, but the question number one, you need to basically, one of the question, you need to plot the resource histogram. Then only you will get the values. Okay, any questions so far?
Okay, Doctor, I just want
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
So can you actually extend the time like until 6:30 or 7 because we have a class from 2 to 5.
Oh, okay, you have a class. Okay.
Yes.
What time do you want? 7, is it okay?
I think should be okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay, any more question?